John Stuart 1762-1763. John Stuart, born in 1713, was a prominent British philosopher and political economist, widely regarded as one of the most influential thinkers of the Enlightenment era. His notable contributions to political philosophy, ethics, and economics continue to shape contemporary discourse. Stuart's early career involved serving as a member of the British Parliament and as an active participant in political debates. His intellectual prowess and commitment to advocating for individual liberties and the concept of utilitarianism garnered significant attention among his contemporaries. Stuart's political career was marked by his fervent advocacy for the principles of liberalism and his dedication to the promotion of individual rights and freedoms. His works, including A Letter Concerning Toleration and An Inquiry into the Nature and Causes of the Wealth of Nations, highlighted his deep-seated belief in the importance of limited government intervention and the role of free markets in fostering societal progress and prosperity. The years 1762 to 1763 were pivotal in John Stuart's life and political journey. During this period, Stuart was actively engaged in shaping his ideas and formulating his renowned works that would go on to revolutionize political thought. In 1762, Stuart's intellectual contributions gained significant traction within intellectual circles, propelling him to the forefront of the Enlightenment movement. The critical events and debates during these years not only solidified his status as a leading philosopher but also cemented his influence on political and economic ideologies for generations to come. Furthermore, 1762 to 1763 marked a turning point in Stuart's exploration of themes such as the nature of human liberty, the role of the state in governance, and the ethical foundations of societal organization. His engagement with the prevailing political landscape during this time greatly informed the development of his seminal works, laying the groundwork for his enduring legacy as a prominent figure in the history of political philosophy and economics. The years 1762 to 1763 were characterized by a complex and dynamic global political landscape. Europe was still reeling from the aftermath of the 7 Years' War, 1756 to 1763, which had far-reaching implications for the balance of power among major European nations. The war had strained the resources and economies of several European powers, leading to shifts in alliances and territorial rearrangements. Additionally, the growing colonial ambitions of European powers, especially in regions like North America and India, were fueling geopolitical tensions and conflicts. Simultaneously, the Americas were witnessing the gradual intensification of sentiments that would eventually lead to the American Revolution, as British colonies increasingly expressed discontent over taxation and governance issues. In Asia, the rise of the Mughal Empire and the expansion of the Qing dynasty in China were shaping the geopolitical landscape of the region. Moreover, the African continent was witnessing the continued impact of the transatlantic slave trade and the colonial ambitions of various European powers. During 1762 to 1763, significant political events and shifts were unfolding across nations. In Europe, the Treaty of Paris, 1763, marked the end of the 7 Years' War, leading to a reconfiguration of territorial holdings and power dynamics. The rise of Prussia as a major European power under Frederick the Great and the consolidation of British dominance in India were key geopolitical developments during this period. In North America, the Native American resistance to British colonial expansion and the subsequent proclamation of 1763 by the British Crown, which restricted colonial settlement west of the Appalachian Mountains, set the stage for growing discontent among the American colonies. Furthermore, the emergence of figures like George III in Britain and the expansion of the Russian Empire under Catherine the Great were shaping the trajectories of their respective nations. Amidst this intricate political landscape, John Stuart's ideas resonated deeply, offering insights into the role of governance, the limitations of state intervention, and the importance of individual freedoms. Stuart's emphasis on the concept of natural rights and his advocacy for the principles of classical liberalism found relevance in the debates surrounding colonial expansion and the limitations of state authority. Moreover, his arguments for free trade and the market economy provided a compelling framework for understanding the implications of colonial policies and the economic consequences of imperial ambitions. Stuart's views on the dangers of unchecked state power and his propositions for the protection of individual liberties were particularly pertinent in the context of the emerging power struggles and geopolitical realignments of the period. John Stuart's intellectual legacy was primarily shaped by his influential political works, which continue to influence political thought and discourse. Among his key works, A Letter Concerning Toleration, 1689, articulated his stance on religious tolerance and the separation of church and state, laying the groundwork for later discussions on religious freedom and individual rights. Two Treatises of Government, 1689, further solidified his ideas on the social contract theory, emphasizing the natural rights of individuals and the need for a legitimate government based on the consent of the governed. Additionally, his Essay Concerning Human Understanding, 1689, significantly contributed to the development of modern empirical philosophy, exploring the nature of human knowledge and understanding. Stuart's notable ideas and contributions were marked by his staunch defense of individual liberties and his advocacy for the limitations of state power. His concept of the social contract, emphasizing the right of the people to rebel against tyrannical rulers, laid the foundation for modern democratic principles. Moreover, his views on the importance of private property and the role of the government in protecting individual rights greatly influenced the formulation of constitutional principles and the development of modern legal systems. Stuart's groundbreaking contributions to the philosophy of empiricism and his emphasis on the importance of sensory experience in shaping human knowledge were pivotal in shaping the fields of epistemology and psychology. His ideas on the tabula rasa, or the notion that the mind is a blank slate at birth, greatly influenced subsequent discussions on human development and education. Stuart's philosophy was deeply reflective of the political climate of his time, characterized by debates surrounding the divine right of kings, religious persecution, and the balance of power between the state and the individual. Stuart's emphasis on the natural rights of individuals and the need for a government based on the consent of the governed directly responded to the prevailing absolutist tendencies and the challenges posed by the divine right theory. Furthermore, Stuart's emphasis on the importance of religious tolerance and the separation of church and state emerged in response to the religious conflicts that plagued Europe during the 17th century. His works sought to provide a philosophical basis for the promotion of religious freedom and the idea of a secular state, reflecting the need for peaceful coexistence in a diverse and often divided society. John Stuart's philosophy exerted a profound impact on contemporary governance, contributing to the evolution of political systems and the development of constitutional principles. His emphasis on the social contract theory and the idea of government by consent influenced the rise of constitutionalism, leading to the establishment of governments based on the principles of popular sovereignty and the protection of individual rights. Stuart's advocacy for limited government intervention and his critique of absolute monarchy laid the groundwork for the emergence of constitutional monarchies and democratic forms of governance. Furthermore, Stuart's ideas on the importance of the rule of law and the protection of individual liberties served as a guiding principle for the formulation of legal systems that safeguarded the rights of citizens and promoted the concept of equality before the law. His philosophy contributed to the reconfiguration of power structures within governments, leading to the adoption of checks and balances, the separation of powers, and the promotion of accountable and transparent governance. Stuart's ideas found implementation in key political decision-making processes, influencing the formulation of policies that prioritized individual freedoms, free trade, and the protection of property rights. Across various nations, policymakers drew upon Stuart's principles to establish laws that protected religious freedoms, promoted economic liberalism, and encouraged the decentralization of state power. The adoption of constitutional provisions that delineated the powers of the executive, legislative, and judicial branches of government was a direct result of the influence of Stuart's philosophy on the structure of governance. Moreover, Stuart's ideas on the significance of education and the cultivation of rationality and critical thinking found expression in the establishment of educational institutions that emphasized the importance of a well-rounded education for the formation of responsible citizens. The integration of Stuart's principles into educational policies aimed to foster an informed and engaged citizenry capable of actively participating in the governance of their societies. Stuart's ideas were received with varying degrees of acceptance and criticism by political leaders and intellectuals of his era. While some political leaders embraced Stuart's philosophy and implemented his ideas in the governance of their respective nations, others viewed his propositions with skepticism, fearing that the widespread adoption of his principles might lead to political instability and the erosion of established power structures. Intellectuals of the time engaged in extensive debates surrounding the implications of Stuart's philosophy, with some hailing his ideas as a beacon of progress and enlightenment, while others contested the practicality of his proposals within the complex political realities of the era. Nevertheless, Stuart's philosophy spurred intellectual discourse and inspired subsequent generations of thinkers and policymakers to further refine and adapt his ideas to the evolving political, social, and economic challenges of their times. During his time, John Stuart's political propositions elicited a spectrum of reactions from various segments of society. While some intellectuals and political leaders lauded his ideas for their emphasis on individual rights, limited government, and the social contract, others raised concerns about the potential destabilizing effects of implementing his propositions in their entirety. Some contemporary thinkers embraced Stuart's philosophy as a catalyst for societal progress and enlightenment, recognizing its potential to reshape governance in a more equitable and just manner. Others, however, were wary of the implications of challenging established power structures and the potential disruption to traditional socio-political hierarchies. Stuart's works faced both fervent criticisms and passionate endorsements from scholars, philosophers, and political leaders in the centuries following their publication. Critics often contested the practicality of Stuart's proposals, citing concerns about the potential chaos that might arise from the unrestricted application of his principles. Some argued that Stuart's emphasis on individual liberties could lead to social disorder and undermine the stability of the state. Additionally, his ideas on the free market faced criticisms for their potential to exacerbate economic disparities and exploit vulnerable populations. On the other hand, proponents of Stuart's works underscored their enduring relevance and their role in shaping modern democratic governance and free market economies. Advocates highlighted how Stuart's emphasis on the protection of individual rights laid the foundation for the development of human rights movements and the establishment of legal frameworks that safeguarded civil liberties. Furthermore, his ideas on the free market and limited government intervention were seen as instrumental in fostering economic prosperity and innovation, contributing to the development of capitalist economies in the modern era. Stuart's political legacy continued to evolve beyond the years 1762 to 1763, leaving an indelible mark on subsequent generations of political thinkers and policymakers. His philosophy played a crucial role in the shaping of modern democratic ideals, influencing the drafting of constitutions and the establishment of governmental structures that prioritized the protection of individual freedoms and the rule of law. Furthermore, Stuart's ideas contributed to the development of modern liberal thought, providing a philosophical foundation for movements advocating for social justice, human rights, and the rule of law. In the economic sphere, Stuart's advocacy for free market principles and the importance of property rights continued to resonate in the development of capitalist economies and the formulation of policies that promoted market competition and entrepreneurship. Additionally, his emphasis on the importance of education and the cultivation of rationality informed the establishment of educational systems that aimed to nurture critical thinking and civic engagement among the populace. John Stuart's enduring influence on political thought remains indisputable, with his ideas continuing to shape the discourse on governance, ethics, and economics. His emphasis on individual liberties, the social contract, and the limitations of state power has become foundational to modern democratic principles and the establishment of constitutional governments. Stuart's concepts have been instrumental in shaping the understanding of the relationship between the government and the governed, fostering a deeper appreciation for the importance of the rule of law and the protection of civil liberties. Moreover, Stuart's contributions to the fields of economics and ethics have left a lasting impact, with his advocacy for free markets and the importance of private property rights contributing to the development of capitalist economies worldwide. His ideas continue to inform contemporary debates on the role of government in regulating markets and the ethical dimensions of economic policies, underscoring the enduring relevance of his philosophical legacy. Stuart's legacy has continued to resonate within subsequent political movements, inspiring a range of ideologies that uphold principles of individual freedom, human rights, and democratic governance. From the American Revolution and the French Revolution to the modern-day human rights movements and advocacy for social justice, Stuart's ideas have provided a philosophical basis for challenging oppressive regimes, promoting equality, and advocating for the protection of marginalized communities. Furthermore, various political movements and parties have drawn upon Stuart's principles to advance policies that prioritize the welfare of the people, promote social equality, and safeguard civil liberties. Stuart's emphasis on the importance of education and critical thinking has influenced the development of educational systems that seek to nurture informed and engaged citizens, underscoring the significance of an educated populace in sustaining democratic governance and social progress. In the modern political landscape, John Stuart's ideas remain highly relevant, offering valuable insights into the complexities of governance, ethics, and economics. His emphasis on the importance of individual liberties and the need for accountable governance continues to inform debates on civil rights, government transparency, and the protection of personal freedoms in an era characterized by rapid technological advancements and global interconnectedness. Moreover, Stuart's philosophy provides a critical framework for understanding contemporary challenges such as the regulation of global markets, the ethical implications of technological innovation, and the promotion of sustainable and inclusive economic development. His ideas continue to inspire policymakers, activists, and intellectuals to address pressing issues related to social justice, human rights, and the ethical responsibilities of governments and corporations in an increasingly interdependent world. In the years 1762 to 1763, John Stuart emerged as a prominent figure in the intellectual and political landscape, contributing profoundly to the development of political thought and governance. His engagement with the pressing political issues of the time, including debates on individual liberties, the nature of governance, and the role of the state, solidified his status as a leading advocate for the principles of liberalism and the protection of human rights. Stuart's works during this period laid the foundation for his enduring legacy as a pioneering philosopher whose ideas continue to shape contemporary political discourse. The enduring legacy of John Stuart's political philosophy remains deeply embedded in the fabric of modern democratic societies and market economies. His emphasis on the social contract, individual freedoms, and the limitations of state power has significantly influenced the development of constitutional governments and the protection of civil liberties. Moreover, Stuart's contributions to the fields of economics and ethics have played a pivotal role in shaping the understanding of market dynamics, ethical business practices, and the pursuit of sustainable economic development. His legacy continues to inspire movements advocating for social justice, human rights, and the empowerment of marginalized communities worldwide. As contemporary politics grapple with an array of complex challenges, John Stuart's ideas retain their profound relevance in guiding policymakers, intellectuals, and activists in their pursuit of a more just and equitable society. His emphasis on the importance of individual liberties, the rule of law, and the ethical responsibilities of governments and corporations serves as a crucial compass for navigating contemporary issues such as technological advancement, global governance, and environmental sustainability. Stuart's philosophy underscores the enduring importance of upholding democratic principles, fostering social inclusivity, and promoting ethical governance in the face of evolving political and societal landscapes. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it informative, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this in the future.